whether you start from Bivilu Yatzanu Mitzrayim, Manishtana, and so on. Those that don't know Hebrew, at least the Ma'am and Nishtana should be in their language. And those that want to continue doing the Agadah in their language is okay, as long as you do the Berachot, the Kiddush, the Berachot. I would say also Ma'am Nishtana at least, and the less Berachah of Gal Israel in Hebrew. The same thing with the Hallel should be in Hebrew. All the rest could be in other languages. If you have someone else that can read it for you in Hebrew and you listen, Shomea Kaoneh, that would be great. What I would say when it comes to the Agadah, don't drag it. Because, especially this year, it's late. People are not going to stop before 8:39-ish. And till till you see yourself in the Seudah, you're already going to be very late. And you're going into a problem of eating Afikoma maybe after Hatzot, which is a problem. People are going to sleep. People are going to be able to do the 4 cups, the Hasibah, the Kazetot. And that's why don't drag the Agadah. Just say it. And if you want to talk about the Divrei Torah, you can do it after the Seudah. As far as the cups, the first cup, you say Beracha, as we know, you say Beracha from the Kiddush. You say Borei Pri HaGefen. The second cup, no Beracha. Third cup, which is Birkat HaMazon with a Beracha. The fourth cup, no Beracha of Borei Pri HaGefen. But you do have Al HaGefen or Al Pri HaGefen, which is Beracha Harona on the last cup. So remember, first and third cups are required Beracha. Second and fourth, there's no Beracha Rishona. Again, unless you have a different minhag, follow your minhag. Once you finish the Agadah and you say Gal Israel, you drink the cup Hasibah, no Beracha, as we said, and then you go and you wash your hands for the Seudah. Although you know your hands are clean and whatever it is, you still should wash your hands with a Beracha. No talking, obviously, as we all know. And you go for Hamotzi. Now here's what you have to know. We know always you say Hamotzi and you eat it. You don't eat in this case. Again, we always say Beracha Hamotzi and you eat the Halah throughout the year. In this case, you say Hamotzi and you don't eat. I repeat myself, you do not eat from the matzah yet. You give everyone from a matzah, from the matzot that you just made a Beracha. You give them a kazait if possible, if not, a little piece, and then everybody takes matzah from the rest of the matzot that you have on the table, and make sure you have at least kazait. Lekat tehillah, you should eat 2 kazetot, one for the hamotzi and one for the second beracha. So what you do is very, very simple. You take the matzot, you say hamotzi, you give out the pieces for everyone, then you go for second beracha, which is al achilat matzah. Prefer to eat 2 kazetot. Every kazait would be about 28 grams. If it's a machine matzah, it will be about a half of it. If it's the larger one, that will be most probably a third of that matzah or so. And 2 kazetot will be double basically. And then you eat it bahaseba. The time of eating that kazait or the 2 kazetot, prefer to finish it within 4 minutes. Or mahmid, even 2 minutes. But 4 minutes up to 6 minutes, you should finish those 2 kazetot. And if you do 1 kazait, the same halacha, you should finish it within 4 to 6 minutes or so. Remember, if you didn't do it with haseba, you're going to redo it, so you got to make sure you do haseba when you eat matzah. All the kazetot of matzah and all the 4 cups are required to do haseba. Okay, so the next one is maror. After you eat matzah, you go for maror. Maror, you don't say beracha adama, because we said already the beracha on the karpas. And you dip it in the haroset, and you say the beracha ala achilat maror. Alright, the next thing is korech. Korech is you take a kazait matzah, kazait maror, and you put it together, and you eat it with the haroset, and you follow your minhag with the haseba, without the haseba. Make sure you have agadah. A lot of people don't have agadot. Mahzuri, make sure you have agadot. I know they are open. At least you could call them up and you could do a delivery if you need to. because people are going to get stuck in the last minute. You can't do much about it. Make sure you have a Gada and Mahzor, so you know what to do. Make sure it's the Mahzor that you use, that's your minhag, and you follow your minhag Be'ezat Hashem. Then you go for the Seudah. Whatever you eat for the Seudah, Kol HaMarbeh Lazim Shubah. The next thing you go is for the Afikoman, the Tzafon. Tzafon is the Afikoman. Prefer to eat 2 kazetot, but you have to make sure you eat it before Hatzot. If you could do 2 kazetot, okay. If not, 1 kazait, at least, bahaseba. Okay, make sure you do it in bahaseba. And before Hatzot. If you didn't do bahaseba, you're gonna have to do it again. What happens if you totally forgot about Afikoman? You know, after 2 cups of wine, you ate, you had the whole soda, you're going to have to wash your hands again and do a Afikoman. So make sure you don't lose that mitzvah of Afikoman before Birkat HaMazon. Then you go obviously for Birkat HaMazon, you say Ya'alev Yavo. Make sure you don't forget Ya'alev Yavo, because if you do forget Ya'alev Yavo, you're going to have to repeat yourself. You're going to have to repeat Birkat HaMazon. The only 2 times you have to repeat yourself Birkat HaMazon is Leil Pesach and Leil Sukkot, because you have a mitzvah and you have an obligation eating bread, kazait matzah, that night, and that's why you're going to have to repeat yourself. So make sure you don't forget Ya'alev Yavo Birkat HaMazon. Now, let me explain about as far as kazetot of the matzah. Lekat tehila, you should eat 2 kazetot on hamotzi, because you have 2 brachot, hamotzi and achilat matzah, and 2 kazetot of fikoman, and 1 kazait for the korech. If you cannot do that much, so then go for 2 kazetot in the first in hamotzi, 1 kazait for korech, 1 kazait for afikomen. If 2 kazetot is hard for you, then go for 1 kazait hamotzi, 1 kazait korech, and 1 kazait afikomen. That's for weak people or sick people. Regular people should try to be mahmir 2, 1, and 2, or at least 2, 1, and 1, as I said before. Very sick people and old people that really have a hard time eating matzah, they should at least eat 1 kazait for hamotzi, 1 kazait for afikomen. And if they have problems with the tooth, or people that have problems, could put a little water on it to make it easier to digest it, to chew it, and so on. So that's only for sick people. Healthy people should do the best possible way, as we said. So then you go for Birkat HaMazon. After Birkat HaMazon, you have the 3rd cup. You do say a beracha borei pri hagefen. You do say the beracha. No ala gefen al pri hagefen yet, because you have the 4th cup after Halel. And you have to do bahaseba, as we said before. Make sure you don't miss it out. Then you go for the Halel. Halel, you say the Halel, even if you said Halel, the prayer, you still say Halel with the beracha. Again, follow the Agadah. Agadah tells you everything over there. And you're basically finishing the Halel with a beracha of the Halel. You say Nishmat, you say everything. And you do not say the beracha of Borei Pri HaGefen on the 4th cup. You just drink it Baseba. And you do have a beracha achrona on the cup. So make sure you don't forget about that. I know a lot of people are weak, and people are tired and so on. So try to do it the best possible way with all the details that we just said. Don't forget Sfirat HaOmer on the 2nd night, which comes out Thursday night. The 2nd night of Pesach is the night that you start Sfirat HaOmer. Try to do it in the beginning of the night, because you might forget, especially once you got into the Haggadah and the 4 cups. People might forget, so do Sfirat HaOmer if possible, already by Arbit, because anyways, if people pray after 20 minutes after Shki'ah, you could already Sfirat HaOmer. But if you do pray early, and whatever you're doing, make sure you do Sfirat HaOmer right away, right after Shki'ah, 20 minutes of Shki'ah, you could do Sfirat HaOmer. If you do it later, don't forget to do Kriyat Shema if you prayed early. And you should also do Kriyat Shema before Sfirat HaOmer, because that's the Div Shenot Adir, and also the Oraita, and that's the Derabanan. I hope I covered most of the halachot, if not all halachot required. But as we said, if you have any questions, I'll give you a chance to ask your questions now. Okay, so the first question I got from Daniel, is how big is a kazait? Okay, so as we said, it's 28 gram, and it's from the machine matzah, I would say about a half, and from the hand matzah, I would say a third, so I'm mahmir a half of matzah. As far as hatzot is about 1 o'clock at night, even 4 minutes before that, but 1 o'clock about is hatzot, and you should finish your eating your afikoman before hatzot. Leon's question was regarding how you kosher a how you kosher the counter. So obviously you have to know what material the counter is from. Okay, so most of the counters, I would say, are able to be koshered, are materials they're able to kosher it. And again, only if you use that counter for hametz gamur, boiling hametz gamur, then you require to use boiling hot water, hag'ala, which means you take hot water straight from the pot, and you pour it on the counter, but you cannot put it on one side of the counter and let the water go, because the water reduces the heat afterwards. You have to pour it on all the counter. But again, that's only if you used hametz gamur on it, and that's only if you're going to put food mamash directly on the counter on Pesah. Otherwise, you could just cover it and you're good to go. Cover it with the heavy silver foil. If you have more question about it, I'll answer it later. The other question that you had is the iron, or you have the hot water. People sometimes put bread or things on top of it. So obviously you're going to have to kosher it by at least pouring boiling hot water, and that should be enough. Some people could use torture. That depends what material it is. But if you use the hot torture or whatever, that would be good enough for it. That's for that. Then Morris asked a question about the toast ovens. I highly recommend it not to use it. No matter how you're going to clean it, it's always dirty. There's always something there. Do not use it. And the best thing is just buy a new one for Pesach. And that's the way I would answer this question. Steve asked about matzah ashira. First of all, matzah ashira means matzah that in the dough has mei perot, wine, grape juice or whatever, orange juice, apple juice. But again, you have to make sure that it's pure grape juice or orange juice or whatever it is. If it has even one drop of water, that's already considered to be a big problem in halakha. But let's assume you have matzah ashira. Matzah ashira, yes, you could be mekel for kids especially. And if you have matzot ashirot, regular matzot, that has almost the same taste, I highly recommend you, at least for the adults, not to eat it. If someone still needs it, is weak, he needs it, this is on who to rely on to eat matzah ashira. I highly recommend you to take it, at least fry it or cook it and then eat it, so you change the taste of the matzah as much as possible. Halakha is you don't eat matzah because we want you to come into Leila Seder while you're hungry and you have the appetite of eating matzah. Regarding Leo's question, once you kosher the countertop, do you have to cover it? No, once you do achshara, that the whole idea of achshara is that you're able to use it for Pesach. Okay, regarding Leon's question on wine, especially for the Sfaradim, you got to make sure that the wine has enough percentage that it's considered to be wine that Borei Pri Giffen. That's why all those wines that have like 5% are usually wine that mixed with a lot of water, which is problematic for the Sfaradim. That's why, as I told you in the beginning, dry wine, no sugar, not mevushal, red from Israel will be the best wine to use, at least for the first night, at least for the first cup too. So that will be the best possible wine to use. Any other wine, make sure that it has enough percentage. That's why the dry wines have usually enough percentage for the Sfaradim. The alcohol just tells you usually how much water is in it or whatever. But it shows you that there might be a problem. That's why 5% most probably is a problem for the Sfaradim.